Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a fundamental concept in modern Python development, virtual environments. We'll explore what they are, why they are so important, and how to use the built-in Venv tool to manage them effectively. So, what exactly is a virtual environment? Think of it as a private, isolated directory for your Python project. This directory contains a specific version of the Python interpreter, and it has its own separate space for installing libraries and packages. The key takeaway is that this isolation prevents conflicts. If you have two projects that require different versions of the same library, virtual environments allow them to coexist peacefully on the same computer without causing issues. In the past, you might have heard of other tools, but since Python version 3.3, the standard and recommended way to handle virtual environments is by using Venv. The best part is that Venv is included directly in the Python standard library. This means you don't need to install anything extra with pip. If you have a modern version of Python, you already have Venv ready to go. Creating an environment is a straightforward two-step process in your terminal. First, navigate into your project's main folder. Second, you execute the Venv module using python-mvenv, followed by the name you want to give your environment's folder. A very common convention is to simply name this folder Venv. Creating the environment isn't enough. You have to activate it to start using it. The command differs slightly depending on your operating system. On Windows, you'll run a script located in the scripts folder of your environment. On macOS or Linux, you'll use the source command to run a similar script from the bin folder. Once activated, you'll typically see the environment's name appear in your terminal prompt, letting you know you're inside. Now that your environment is active, any pip command you run will only affect this local environment. When you install a package like requests, it gets installed inside the Venv folder, not globally. You can use piplist to see the specific packages and versions that are unique to your current project. This ensures your global Python installation stays clean and your project's dependencies are self-contained. To make your project reproducible for others, or even for your future self, you need to create a list of its dependencies. The standard convention for this is a file named requirements.txt. You can automatically generate this file by running pip freeze and directing the output into the file. Later, anyone can set up an identical environment by running pip install with the -r flag and pointing to that requirements file. When you're finished working on your project, you can leave the virtual environment by simply typing the deactivate command. This returns you to your shell's global context. And because a virtual environment is nothing more than a self-contained folder, getting rid of it is as simple as deleting that folder from your project. Let's recap some best practices. First, always create a separate virtual environment for each project you work on. Second, choose a consistent name for the environment folder, like Venv, to make it predictable. And most importantly, never commit the environment folder itself to version control systems like Git. Add its name to your .gitignore file. The only thing you should be committing is your requirements.txt file. To sum it all up, virtual environments are essential for isolating project dependencies and preventing conflicts. The Venv tool comes built in with Python and is the standard choice. Always use a requirements.txt file to document your project's dependencies for easy replication. And finally, remember to keep your version control clean by ignoring the environment folder itself. Following these practices will make your life as a developer much easier.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.